trusted groups of hotel and hospitality. So he'll be having an interactive session with us. There'll be so many questions we'll be having about the hospitality industry. I'm sure this is the best person to have everything to access. So, sir, we can begin the interaction of sessions.
Okay, the topic that I'm talking about is hospitality industry. Of course, every one of you is familiar with the hospitality industry because all of you do visit hotels and restaurants in cities and holiday destinations. So I'll just give you a brief thing about characteristics of the hotel industry, particularly in India, and then I'll run you through what happened in the last decade and what I think is going to happen in the next decade. And then you're welcome to ask questions. You know, the question is normally people ask me every time whenever I go to international forums or for seminars is why are hotels so expensive in India? And so the reason is that in India land cost is very high. If you go to any metro cities or even if it's tier 1, tier 2 cities, you'll find that the cost of land is very high. Number 2, the FSI is also very low. Abroad, what will happen is to compensate for the high cost of land, the FSI is allowed for hotels is very high. So the cost per square foot is quite low. Recently, of course, like in Bombay, they have doubled the FSI. What used to be, say, 2.5, they increased it to 5. What used to be 1.75, they increased it to 3.5. So that has had some effect, but it's not across the country. So land cost is a very high factor in hospitality industry. Number 2 is capital cost. You see, abroad, you would have heard your management students that the cost of capital is very low. You can borrow at 2%, in Singapore 2 to 3%. In India, we're borrowing today at 15 to 16%. So the cost of capital is very, very high in India. It had come down. I remember we were borrowing at some years back at 8%. And before that it was 16%, came down to 8%, is back to 15, 16%. So that has a very, very huge impact on the profitability of hotels. Number 3 is, no matter what we've done in liberalization or what we are doing as far as streamlining things, but it doesn't seem to have any effect on the red tape that is happening in the country. Or to set up a hotel, you need almost about 100 clearances. And 100 clearances you will know to get from various government departments, and there will be probably 3 to 4 or sometimes 5 levels. That means you have to go through maybe 4 to 500 different steps to get clearances to start a hotel. And dealing with government departments who are not always very clean is very, very difficult. So there's a big, big problem of, there was a comparison one day given in how long does it take to set up a hotel in China against how long it takes to hotel in India. The average time required in China is about 15 months and the average time required in India is about 4 years. So that adds to your capital cost also. Then other thing is that we are very poor in project management. We have got in India hardly any project management capabilities. There are a lot of people, a lot of companies, international firms who say that they are good project management companies, but we have had experience with so many of them. So there are very, very few good people who can deliver projects on time. So there is a big shortage of project management and that's why projects get delayed. So this is a broad aspect of why hotels in India are expensive. And now I tell you what has happened. Say we started our Royal Orchid Hotel in 2001. The moment we started it, we had a very high debt equity ratio, and we started in June, and then immediately 9/11 happened, and all of you very aware of what was the result of 9/11. So we had to really tighten our belts, really work through the recession for almost 2 years. 2 years we did not know how to really, it was very, very tough times, because the banks have to be given the money, otherwise they will come and take away your asset or close the hotel down. They're quite eager to do such things. So you need to tighten your belts. You need to see how you're going to monitor each single paisa that is being spent, and not rupee, each single paisa how is being spent. You learn to become more efficient during those days. Particularly when there's money short and customers are also short, you tend to learn how to manage things better. Of course, then 2003 onwards, there was a boom in the economy, particularly in Bangalore. The IT industry totally boomed. Suddenly there was an influx of so many new players coming in, and Bangalore was the flavor of that particular thing. For 5 years, you could charge whatever rates you wanted. You had no problem with occupancies, and we were totally full. So in that 5 years, we not only recovered our money, we paid back a lot of dues to the banks, and we had a very good time. And so 2006, we went for an IPO. So we thought that now we should go and expand throughout the country. Now that we have got 3 hotels in Bangalore, 1 hotel in Mysore, let's go ahead and expand. During that period, we went to a lot of private equity players, a lot of funds asking for money. And you won't believe it, that nobody was coming forward to give any valuation to the company. We were wanting to have just 20 crores extra so that we can start looking at expansion. And we were willing to give 25% of our company for that 20 crores, and nobody came forward. But 2006 markets changed, and we said, now instead of knocking at the doors of these private equity guys, let's go for an IPO. So we went for an IPO, and for the 25% we got 2 crores. So the valuation of the company was close to about 450 crores. So it's a question of time. So that means when the times are good, you get the money in the market, don't money it. So one thing, remember, whenever you are in business, when money is available, because when there is a shortage, when you need the money, there are very few people who are ready to come to give you money. So you should cash in when money is available. Then of course we started expanding. After getting the money, we started expanding using that amount. And we went to other cities also. For example, we bought a hotel in Bangalore, another hotel we bought, one in Jaipur, land we purchased, Hyderabad we purchased land, Mumbai we purchased land, and we started our expansion. And also we started, after using our money, we started leveraging. So we started taking debt. If the times were good, we said, okay, no problem, if somebody giving us 100 crores, banks will come to our door, and within 2-3 days, they will just send the term sheets, and okay, 100 crores, 50 crores. So easy money coming in, we took a lot of money. We took over 300 crore debt. And of course we did utilize it, and we expanded to, from 2 hotels that time, we expanded to now, we got 22 hotels across the country. Of course some hotels are managed hotels, because that's the asset-light strategy that we're going to adopt in the future, that we're going to manage hotels, and we're not going to own, we're going to own some hotels, but we're going to manage a lot of hotels, because that's the way to expand in the future. We can have a larger footprint, somebody else inputs in the money, and we have the management expertise to build the chain. So that way we'll be able to go from maybe 22 hotels to maybe 10 hotels next 1 year, and then adding, and then maybe 15, 20 hotels the next year. So that way it goes up symmetrically. So that's what we are trying to do. But then what happened was, in 2008, came the recession. Our hotel was located next to the Bangalore airport. And Bangalore airport shifted. It went to absolutely other end of town. And also recession hit. We were saddled with a lot of debt. And we were stuck. Still, I'm not saying we aren't right now, but we still are stuck. So, on one hand, we had a lot of committed projects. On the other, there was a recession. So, for 2 years, again, it was a kind of repeat of 2001. So, you must remember that in business, usually these spreadsheets that we all do are nothing but a piece of just paper, very hypothetical. You don't normally factor in ups and downs. And so you've got to look at the worst consequence and see how you have to go through a crisis situation which can hit any time. Nobody anticipated that 2008 will happen. Nobody anticipated 2001 something will happen. So every few years, you'll have some problem happen. Okay? So you've got to provide for it. And we had a lot of problems. There were bomb blasts in Bombay that set us back. There were bomb blasts in Goa. Our Goa hotel was set back. So today, looking forward, the world is becoming very, very volatile. A lot of things are happening. And one small thing triggers off a recession. You may have a bird flu, you may have some epidemic anywhere in the world. And whatever happens anywhere in the world, it always affects India. So somehow anything happens anywhere, India also gets affected. So we got to think of that when now 2010, things were looking up. It's great. Everything looks very nice and hunky-dory. So business started picking up. But then again, now Eurozone crisis, so all the tourists coming from Europe have virtually dried up. Very, very few people coming from Europe. From US, which is a large market, not many tourists coming. People come on business. So now there is they are hit by a recession. So there's a very little business really happening. And to add to the problems, there are a lot of Indian government has done a lot in the last few. You must be reading in the papers. A lot of damage has been done and shaken the confidence in the businesses. But then in business, you've got to survive irrespective of what happens because your money is at stake. You have put in the money and you've got to survive. So you have got to work towards, no matter what happens, try to see how maybe you need to tighten your belt, you need to rethink of the model that you're operating on. So looking at the future, what I feel is that 2012, the Euro crisis, the recession is definitely there. Today, looking at the inflation which is going to happen because the monsoon and our RBI governor is really scared that if there's inflation, he's not going to bring down interest rates for the industry. So where we have a debt of say 300 crore, we started taking money at 10-11%. We're currently paying 15 to 16%. So you notice that all economics changes. So that means we are now working for the banks rather than the other way around. So these things can happen. Of course, we'll now try to find out how to reduce the debt, how to tighten our belt to reduce our costs, change the business model. So looking forward, I feel that the revival will probably start in 2014. Looking at the past trends, the 4-5 years good, 4-5 years bad. So that trend continues maybe 2013, 2014. There should be some sort of a revival in the economy, and then we hope that there will be again another boom. Typically in a cycle, hotel cycle, what happens, when there's a boom, at that time, people start thinking of building hotels. And when in 5 years, hotels take only 4-5 years to build. So by the time the new capacity comes up, this boom is over. So you have a situation where there is a recession and you have extra capacity coming in, which is right now what is happening. And then when the boom comes in, because now if you ask across the country, are people thinking of hotels, setting up hotels, there will be very few people who think, yes, we want to set up hotels. But what is likely to happen is in the next few years, when the boom starts, again we will make the money at that time, and then a lot of people will rush it. But there is some sort of trend we've got to watch what is going to happen in the future. See, one is there is a tremendous manpower shortage. Skilled manpower available. We have a country which has a lot of people, but very few skilled manpower available. So, trend is going to be shifting to training people on very fast track, bringing them to do work, but there is going to be shortage of people. Youngsters today like to shift jobs very fast. So you will have a lot of people who will be joining you, and within a few months, not even a few years, within a few months they will be leaving your industry and going particularly hotel industry. Because a lot of the long working hours here, salaries are not that high, but there is a lot of poaching because hotel characteristics, hotel staff is very, very, people friendly. So everybody poaches, like retail industry poaches from the hotel industry, cell phone companies poaches. Every service industry, even BPOs are poaching people from the hotel industry. So there is a tremendous shortage going to be. So we're going to become like 100 points, where people come, learn some job, work for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year and leave. So we've got to be prepared for that. That's going to be a trend. We've got to be prepared for that. So what we have done is we started our own skill development center. So they'll keep on training people in 3 to 6 months time, and they come and work with us. And the attrition rate in the industry is today 50%. That means today we've got 3,000 people working for us, and 1,500 will leave in the next 1 year. So we've got to provide for 1,500 people, provide for maybe another 1,000 to 1,500 people for new hotels that we take up. So this is one of the fact, manpower shortage is going to be a problem in the hotel industry. Then there will be competition for international players. What is happening is, so far, Indian industry was dominated by, ITC, Oberoi, Taj. Well, a couple of these players. There are a couple of smaller players, of course, regional players also, but majority these companies were dominating. Now what's happening is every single international chain is coming to India, and they've got very deep pockets. But besides how they're coming to India is they're not investing very much money there. They are today taking management contracts. So that means money is being put by a builder who does not know much about the hotel industry, or high net worth individuals, or some politicians, or some Putka wala, or some video wala. They are putting in the money to set up hotels. And the management is being provided by these foreign chains. So there is going to be increased competition. There was an article 2-3 days back in Business Standard about increased competition from foreign chains. So they will come and they don't have much of stake in it. They can afford to play the game. And of course they have the international reach. Then another trend is that customer loyalty is not there. Gee, those days I remember when we used to, when I started my first hotel in Bangalore, most of the guests I used to know personally. And they used to come again and again and again, representing the same company. Now what's happening is that people are changing their own companies. So they're not with the same organization for too long. They're there for 2 years, 3 years. So you are got to have companies loyal to you rather than the customers being loyal to you. So you got to, and that also loyalty seems to have changed today. They have a very bidding process. They have got what we call RFP, request for proposal. It's like a tender system which is invited once a year, and then either you qualify or you don't qualify. So customers are today not loyal to you. Companies are not loyal to you. Well, everybody seeks the best bargain. And what's going to happen is that a lot of limited services hotels are going to come up, which means that abroad you hear hotels where there's hardly any service. You take in your bag. In India, if you've seen probably Chender hotels, they have followed the limited service model, and now some chains are eagles from core hotels that come up, and some other hotels are coming up where they give you limited service. No room service, nobody to take your bag in. You got to settle your bills. There's no accounts department before you leave. You settle your bills, and there is an outsourced small cafe where you can pick up something to eat. So you don't need to have restaurant staff also. So those type of trends are also going to happen in our country, what's happening abroad. And because labor costs go up, so limited service. You see, what's happening is youngsters are today accepting that kind of hotels today. Whereas the old generation, we want service. We want the moment we reach the hotel, the advance should say, so do you open the door, and it should carry a briefcase, some which yes sir, no sir, 3 maximum. The work you want, somebody's get relations with their tips to this private room, explain to me the facilities. There's a lot of expectation of our generation. And your generation expectations are much less, and you think that okay, you will be getting a value for money for the hotel, and if you so want, come and carry your bag, it's no big deal. So those type of trends are also going to happen, that there will be limited service hotels. But also, capital shortage will probably continue. Of course, whether there are more equity players coming into the market, but capital costs will go up because equity players want a return of, I think, between 20 to 25% as they want. So the cost of capital will become high. Risk capital will be available, but then you've got to see how you can afford to do. Otherwise, interest rates, I don't see that down in the near future. And as long as the economy is shielded from the world economy, you're not going to get money very cheaply in India. One other thing which is happening, like, when I was invited by your institute very kindly to come to Shillong, but because shortage of time, I said, I rather do it on video conference. So that means one hotel there has lost maybe 2 nights stay. And I've come to university. I never been to Shillong. So this type of thing is happening, that a lot of business is going to be over the years be transacted over video conference. But of course, leisure travel will start increasing. I mean, you've got to enjoy a place, you can't enjoy it over. No matter if you have virtual reality shows or whatever it is, but you've got to be there to really enjoy vacation. So there will be, but other thing what is happening is airport connectivity. That is actually, you can say it's a boom for most travelers, but then for hotels not great. If you come to earlier people used to come to Bangalore, and they knew that it take 2 months to visit the city. So you don't think of ever finishing your meeting and going back for visiting Bangalore. You'll always plan a stay in Bangalore for a day. But that connectivity is going to improve, and I think another couple of months from now there will be an expressway from the airport to middle of town. So people will come within 15-20 minutes in the middle of town, they transact the business and go back in the evening. And here you have places of people taking flight back. So that is definitely going to be loss of business. For cities connectivity, when it improves, but it has a negative impact on hotels. And so by and large, this is the trend which are going to be happening over the next few years. But there is thing is, by and large, there is a lot of uncertainty. The market spending business. And sometimes business can become obsolete also. You've seen so many businesses become obsolete. They were there one day and next day they are just not there. I remember the good old days, PCOs, every year, what there used to be a PCO, that just vanished. Then the video industry, a lot of video cassette hiring, they all vanished. So all businesses tend to at one time face an extinction threat. Well, hotels hopefully with leisure business also they are not face extinction threat. But there will be challenges facing in the future. We'll have to think conferencing business. For conferencing, people will have to meet. We'll all have to be together in a particular place to discuss and all that. So conferencing business, what we call MICE, meeting and center conferences and exhibition. That business will grow definitely. Leisure business will grow definitely. But casual business will probably get reduced. Of course, you can't do a plant visit on a video conference, it's very difficult. So you sometimes need to have it looked at clean. So they will be, but they are challenges in the future. Well, I think I'm going to stop there. And now floor is open to any questions you would like to ask, and we're happy to answer that.
You can come to the front and ask.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. I have a question. You mentioned about attrition in the hospitality industry. So, how do you see the problem in the next decade, and how can we tackle the problem?
See, the problem is, which you can all do yourself also, is that we got no shortage of people in the country. Only thing, people don't know what to do actually. So if you have on one side, not in the hotel industry, in all industries, you require skills and power. So skills development has to happen. That means you're talking, see, India has done a lot of skills development, like you have these ITIs, industrial training institutes. But it's not work. You got to have a lot of private players coming into the industry. A lot of people are planning to come. But, like, okay, NITs are doing good. So we got to have a lot of skills development, particularly even in the rural areas, where there is virtually no opportunity for the people. There's no opportunity. So what is required is, there you need to teach them English, one thing, because it's very difficult to really have people who don't know the language. And then you got to teach them skills. In the shortage, is the minimum period of time, 3 to 6 months, because they can't afford anything. But then if they are taught, and if industry starts taking initiative of training people, so we're starting an initiative, I don't know, I hope it will work. You see, I was in Jaipur, we have 3 hotels. So I spoke to this one lady called Chavi Rajawat, I wonder if you heard of. She's an MBA and who decided to start taking up a corporate job. Has become a sarpanch of a village which is 16 kilometers from Jaipur. So I was talking to her 2 days back. I invited her to Jaipur and I said, okay, what can we do to develop skills in that? She said, we are 60 kilometers away from the city. We have no roads, with no electricity, with no school, with no irrigation, with no water, potable water, with no sanitation, nothing. So, and now how do you really get those people into the mainstream? So I told her, I said, okay, what we'll do is, if you have a school, a small shed, right? We will first send you training videos, okay? Which will be some video and some reading videos. And we'll send a trainer once a week, because 60 kilometers is not too far. So once a week a trainer will come, our HR guy or training manager can go there and have a contact program. So they will be, maybe we'll do for 12 weeks, so they get at least some theoretical basic knowledge. We say, okay, we'll sponsor it. But you have to make sure that those people don't just, their dropout should not happen. So you take some caution deposit from them, which will be refunded to them after that. After that, we need to bring them to the hotels to train them, because practical training is required. So for that, some hostel accommodation is required near the hotels. So I said, okay, we'll provide some hostel accommodation. We'll hire some places, not too expensive, but we'll hire some space. So we are planning to do this program on a pilot basis there, because we tried in Bangalore. We did some training for some students. We run a college of hotel management also for the last so many years, but which is doing degree courses and diploma courses, which is of course expensive. So we have now started doing this with the Karnataka Vocational Training Center here. We started training students, and last year we trained about 100 students. And the moment after 3 months of training, they got picked up by KFC. They cooked, Domino's came and but immediately each one of them who was totally not employable because he's 10th class either failed or 10th class. He's done just up to 10th class. So he's not an employable guy. Within 3 months he got a job. And he got something pretty 5,000 to 6,000 rupees. Plus he'll get food when he's on duty and he'll get uniform also. So there's a lot of difference that can be made. But then provided industry, provided people like you, take some initiative of skilling the people, enabling them. That's what is required. Any question? Next question?
Yes, sir. You talked about the basic level employees, but we have a lot of hotel management institutes in the country. So with the increasing number of hotels that are coming up in the country, we also need management level employees. So what about them? Does business need to interfere with their training, etc., to make them more feasible for the industry?
See, what's happening is that hotel management schools, if you really look at it, there are very few really in the country. There were earlier hotel management schools were being run by the government only. You had got the Indian Institute of Hotel Management, which every state had one Institute of Hotel Management. In 1994, the government of Karnataka liberalized and they said that anybody who's got a hotel and wants to start a hotel management college, we are ready to give them permission. So we promptly applied and we got the permission to start a degree. Because in India, whatever said done, degree attracts. Everybody wants to do a degree. Alright? And so we started the course and it was hugely successful. But over the years, what happened was that every state woke up and they started giving the same and with the result that there was mushrooming of colleges all over the country. And then came AICT. In India, anything which is successful, government must come and spoil it. Okay? Like they started interfering in IIM operations also. So they came in and they said, no, this is all nonsense. There's a 3-year, the IHMs give a 3-year diploma. So the degree courses should be 4 years. And they must come under AICT. Now, if AICT had certain criteria that you got to have half acre of land, you got to have building of so and so size, you going to get this thing. So most of the schools, hotel management schools which were doing a great job had to close down. In fact, in Bangalore, out of the 36 colleges which were in Bangalore, 30 closed down. What we did was we continued with our diploma. We said no more degree, we'll continue our diploma. So we were able to sustain it because we wanted to continue other things. Otherwise 30 colleges closed down. So there's no logic with the government. They are, for example, recently what's happened is that later they said IGNOU can start giving affiliations. So IGNOU gave affiliations to all our colleges. So we started offering degree course, 3-year degree course again. This year, after we finished our admissions, we got a notice that no, we have decided to withdraw the affiliation because we don't want to continue it. After having got the admissions. So we just gone to court and got a stay against and they can't stop. This year they have to allow us to run. So no matter what Kapil Sibal says, no matter what, but there's a very strong, lobby, or you can say government people are working against this system. You understand? The Karnataka vocational training, I'll tell you, they said they subsidize the courses. That's why we got 50 and 50. After getting that 100 students, we found that to get the reimbursement for the subsidy, we had to pay more than the subsidy that we were getting. Okay? So, it's a tough call in our country, But then, we had to really work in spite of the, we are in India, we want to work in India. What I say is sometimes, it's a good entry barrier to others, because there's such a lot of red tape, such a lot of problems. It's a benefit for us. Because we are in the business, we know how to get a bit around the system, whatever it is, how to manage the system. So there will be less players coming. So that way, you've got to start looking at the glass half full rather than the half empty. And smile and carry on.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Charmin from first year. So this is in regard to the airport connectivity issue that you had raised. So when you were talking about the shifting of airport in Bangalore, so I stayed in Bangalore for a year, so I know it's around on an average 60 kilometers far from the main city. So considering when the airport was being shifted, what was the strategy being followed? Because at that time, you know that, okay, the entire city is here where the hotel is located, and the airport is 60 kilometers far, is going to be constructed around 60 kilometers far from the city. And what do you expect? In 4-5 years, do you expect the city to be reaching to that limit of within the area of the airport, or what is the strategy being followed when you want to?
No, good question. You see, what happens is that there again, it is very difficult to predict in our country. The Devanhalli airport was being planned by the Tatas several years back, I think about 20 years back. And we heard that they have signed an MOU with Changi Airport and they're going to be set up. And land acquisition started happening, and then came the Deve Gowda government in the center, and they made some heavy demands. Don't quote me, but then the airport was stalled. So they wanted the airport to be put on the Mysore road side. So this thing happened, the airport got stalled, and after 10 years, the next government decided that the airport should come up in Devanhalli also. So we only have a hotel on this side of town. There's very little, we can't unfortunately transport the hotel from this side to that other side. So we've got to start thinking of other ways to attract business. But then, sometimes it will happen that, you may convert into service departments, your business model you have to review. I'll give a small example of Hyderabad also, where again, airport shifted. There's a hotel called Mysore Hotel which became Marriott later in Hyderabad. Now the city has shifted entirely to the other side. So with the result that business today is in high-tech and Gachibowli area, which is connected very, very well to the airport. So Marriott is suffering. in our case, Bangalore, something very funny happened. Everybody knew the airport was going to come up when they started construction in the north. But the development happened in the south. You have Outer Ring Road, you have Electronic City, and everybody is building like crazy in the south. So within that, we still got business in the south happening. So we have not been that badly affected as maybe Hyderabad, or for example, in Delhi when the airport became larger and Gurgaon became, not necessarily the airport, the Gurgaon became a center for activities. So Connaught Place in our days, Connaught Place used to be the place where every business was there. Every head office of every company was there in Connaught Place area. Now everything has shifted to Gurgaon. So there was a huge drop in the business in Connaught Place area. Now with the sometimes connectivity helps. Now with the metro coming up here again, fortunes of some of those commercial buildings are revived, and some business has started coming back to India.
Yeah, but then we also see that the real estate industry is booming in that part of the city. As in, land is becoming costlier day by day in North Bangalore, and so if you kind of start apprehending the idea that okay, maybe the city will extend to that part, so don't you think that you should actually start thinking on purchasing land before it becomes like costlier?
We have already done that. We already have a hotel. You see, we've got 5 hotels in Bangalore. So we are pretty much spread out throughout the city. And we've got one hotel which is on the Ivanhalli Road, well located. And so eventually it's a small hotel right now. But as the demand picks up there, because there is right now very little activity happening. Airport is there, and then very few commercial complexes have come up. But they are coming up. In the Hebal area, a lot of tech parks are coming up. So I think by the time that comes up, we'll probably start building our hotel, expanding our hotel. So we'll probably add another 100 to 150 rooms in that particular location. So that plans are there, definitely those plans are there. But then we are not the only one who are thinking of hotels in that area. There are a lot of other people who are thinking of hotels in that area. So by the time our hotel comes up, there may be too much competition again. So this is, a hazard of the hotel industry. That you don't know, like example in Pune. We set up a hotel in Pune, and Pune was the booming market. In the last 2 years, I think there have been 15 hotels which have come up in and around our hotel. 15 hotels and there were just 2 hotels. So 12, 13 hotels have come up. And so there is a definitely, but then if in Pune if you see there is a good ID market and there is a good automotive sector. So there are 2 sectors which support Pune. And a lot of new industries are coming up on a regular basis. So that way demand is also there. Yeah, there will be a demand supply mismatch in the short run, but there is demand. So you got to look at areas where there is going to be constant demand also.
Okay, like another question, not in this domain. So you were talking about lack of skilled labor in the hospitality sector, and as my friend asked, like what do you plan to do about getting more and more courses in this domain? Hasn't there been a proposal like including hospitality or hotel management in like very good preschools in India, so that actually we have proper entrepreneurs or rather managers?
I think there's a video connection problem. Can you just repeat the question? I think maybe a little slowly, because I'm not getting through properly.
Okay, yes. So I would like, as in I just thought over the thing that considering there's a lack of skilled labor in this industry, what has been this like proposal forwarded by all the hotels in India that should there be something like a course in hotel management in proper B schools, and not like we have random institutes providing hotel management, hospitality courses, but we don't see them coming up in the IIMs for that matter. So what is the take on that?
I think there should be a lot more skills development programs, short-term skills development programs. And I think some of you should think of, setting up institutes like that. It doesn't require very much capital, and all you need is to maybe, suppose one of you came to us and said you want to set up a skill development center, all you got to do is to collect students and you will have a captive market. That I can assure you, there's a lot of, skills in all areas. For example, all areas there today is a shortage. So you've got to start providing, see, if you look at service industry management. As I mentioned to you, there are call centers, there are retail industry, there is cell phone industry, there are courier companies. They all require good people today, smart youngsters who don't need to be necessarily graduates. They can be 10th class failed also. They can be 11th, 12th class failed also. Give them a second chance. I'll tell you what we did when we started our diploma program, a 2-year diploma program. Because what we found was that when we were recruiting, it came up by accident, diploma program. When we were recruiting students, we had a lot of students who had what they call compartment. They failed in one subject, they have to reappear again. Now the university rules said very clearly that you cannot take a student with compartment. That means he loses 1 year. He has to appear for that one subject in September. His results will come out in October. Your program starts in August, so he has lost 1 year. They were not even a conditional. So we said, okay, we will give you a diploma program for 2 years. You take a diploma program, and we found that after 2 years, the guy was as employable as a 3-year degree student. He was getting almost the same jobs because he was going through the grind probably in an accelerated manner. So without having a 12th pass this thing, he did a diploma. He got the same job as a guy who passed his 12th and got a degree. So we got to start thinking that today, is it a certificate that's going to matter? Is it a degree that's going to matter? Or is it the person's skill that does matter? You notice across the country, we find that English language is a big problem. I remember when we started a hotel in Ahmedabad, where I studied. Very difficult to get English-speaking students, or their accent was not right. But we recruited them. We had a tough time training them up, a couple of months. But then they are otherwise pretty good, committed. So you got to think that what are the needs around you? Why should all of you be thinking of taking up jobs? I'm sure all of you must be applying for jobs. Why should you think of taking up jobs? Think of the areas which will really get you even more money from day one than you'll ever think of getting in a job. So, or get into maybe companies like NIT, companies like Aptech, learn the ropes for 1 or 2 years and think how you want to go and set up your own business. I would encourage people, all of you, to start thinking of business. But don't do business because, oh, this guy is making a lot of money and let me just get into that. So you'll never be successful. What you got to do is something which you like, you are passionate about. Are you really like it? Then you will make a success of it. So think of something. I'm not saying that everybody should become an entrepreneur, but I'm saying you should think of that because that is what is required today. Because you will be employing people, you'll be giving employment to people. Or if you're in skill development, you'll be enabling so many people to, you're not giving them fish, you're teaching them how to fish, and so he can be self-sufficient for the rest of his life. So think of that.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that most of the hotels are located in major cities of India, and environment has a profound impact on the hospitality sector. So, is there any model that goes to creates a synergy between the environment and the hospitality sector?
No, I didn't get the question. What exactly do you want to?
The thing is that the environment has a great, the environment of a place, of a city has a great impact on the hospitality sector. So how do you cater to such demand? How do you create a synergy between the environment and your model of growth?
everybody today is becoming more conscious of the environment across the across industry, not only hotel industry, across industry. Earlier, it is okay to just leave sewage to the drain. Now you got to think of treating. It's becoming compulsory to have sewage treatment plants. So you treat your sewage, and then so whatever water that is left over, you recycle. So you got to start becoming more and more environmental friendly. Your, for example, in our hotels, we have got air conditioning plants where we have what we call these superheaters. So the heat which is generated by air conditioning plant is used for heating water. So we don't have hot water boilers. We just maybe have a standby hot water boiler, but by and large we don't have a hot water boiler. So every single way reduction of the use of water by you got nowadays very efficient taps, efficient flushing systems. And all your chimneys, you got scrubbers in the chimneys so that you don't just let out smoke outside. So you hotels have got to become today more, or every industry has got to become more and more environmental friendly. Of course, this has given rise to another business because the people who are in the environment, business, they are flourishing, and so that is what is happening. And so you got to going forward. You are not an island. You are part of an ecosystem. You are part of a community. So solid wastage also, even in bigger areas where you have some, so most of the solid waste is put to get compost. So you can do that. Otherwise in smaller hotels where in the city you can't have compost, the things are, your waste is sold to piggeries or where cattle breeding farms. So they take that and use it as. So whatever is possible to try to solve it.
Good evening, sir. This is Kaval. As you already mentioned, that there's a lot of competition in the hospitality industry. You've got a lot of domestic players as well as international players coming up in the market. And as you mentioned, in Pune, your hotel has around 15 hotels in its vicinity. So how do you differentiate your hotel brand from others? So, and how big a role does pricing play in getting the market share of customers?
See what happened in Pune, we were getting, when we started, we were getting a rate of about 6,000 rupees per day for the room. And we were very happy. We used to get about 50 to 70% occupancy. We were very happy. As and when more and more hotels started coming up, there started a price war. What we did was, we didn't wait to lose the business before we reduced our rate. And nowadays, in fact, what you call is a dynamic pricing system, just like in the airlines you are familiar with. Hotels have also started adopting what they call ADR, average daily rate. So whatever is the rate of the day, okay, every day you will have a different rate. So when you book, you are having a rate of 4,000 rupees, the next day is 5,000, the day after that is 2,000 rupees, depending on demand and supply. Across the chain, we control it through a very sophisticated software, which is of course centrally handled by our central reservation system and what we call revenue managers. So they will be in touch with the hotels to get the feedback as to when the high demand dates, and then balance. They will go statistically with the past data to see, well, what is the kind of rates we should actually give. And the moment you hit, say, 80% occupancy, your rate will go up. The moment you come down to 40% occupancy or 50%, rate will go up. So we did a lot of dynamic pricing as far as the Pune hotel is concerned. In fact, we are now clocking an occupancy of over 80 to 90% occupancy. Of course, rates have come down to about less than 4,000 now. There were 6,000 those days. Now it is about close to about between 3,500 to 4,000 rupees. But revenues have remained intact because you have to be quick to react to the market. That is what we did. We were quick to react to the market, and that's how we survived in that market. And that's what we probably have to, that's the lessons we learned that across the other markets also. We got to be fast. We got to be quick, and you can't just say that, and you see what the customer wants. If you have a very high, hotel, the customer, very, very fancy hotel, but the customer has an X budget. Well, he'll want to have that extra facilities at no cost, no extra cost. So you got to do that.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, actually I wanted to ask, the hospitality and the tourism industry are somewhat interrelated, like quite dependent upon each other. So, what do you think of the collaboration with government promotionals like Incredible India or stuff like that, or promotions like that, so that it increases the international exposure of the hospitality industry also?
My first advice is, if you have anything to do with government, don't do it. It doesn't work. Yes, they are doing their own thing, Incredible India, they're promoting the thing. You see, hospitality industry too, as I said, there are two kinds. One is the tourism. At the macro level, yes, they are promoting, and I think this Incredible India campaign was done by one of the very, very dynamic IAS officer of Kerala. He first got this positioning God's own country, and then when he went to tourism department in Delhi, he started this Incredible India campaign. So he's definitely uplifted the image of the country across, and there are a lot of tourists who have come in. But what happens is when the tourist actually lands, then there is mayhem here. The moment he lands here, there's a chaos. Some airports have become better. I don't say that they're bad, but right now if you land up in Bombay, it's a nightmare. Okay, maybe another 1 or 2 years the new airport will come up. Delhi is fine. Bangalore is okay. Bangalore still is right now not okay because it's again busting at the seams because the airport is right now become too small. Although it's been hardly a few years, but then it's already too, although there are big queues at the immigration counter. Then when you get out, then there is, every taxi guy is there to look you. You start the journey with a very bad experience. So the whole, concept of tourism in India, I think we are very, very backward. And we would accept that we'll never become a very top tourist destination because the whole country can't change. That's what tourism says, you can't change the whole country. And so tourism will be slow. Yes, because the very fact that we have a Taj Mahal and maybe Bangkok doesn't have a Taj Mahal, so people will come. But do you know one thing? That till now, there are no airport or flights to Agra. I myself was shocked. Once I was there in Delhi a couple of months back, and that was one of the rare times when I and my wife were there together. So I told her, I said, let's go and see the Taj Mahal. I saw it only when I was in school, and let's go and see it. So they said there's no to Agra, and because there's a big lobby working of taxi and that they don't allow a flight to operate. So these are the kind of things which happen in our country. But now I think that luckily that expressway is ready. The Taj expressway from Delhi to Agra is ready. And they're again stalled up. They're not letting it open because there's Mayawati's project, so the new government is not letting it open. But then you can reach it in 2 hours. So there are hurdles and hurdles and hurdles. In our country, I'll tell you in Karnataka, there's a place called Hampi. How many of you have heard of Hampi? Okay, that's great. A lot of people have heard about Hampi. Now, Hampi is a very, very great tourism destination because it's got a lot of heritage. It's got miles and miles of temples and various monuments, and you can spend a couple of days at least exploring the monuments. Now, have you heard of Angkor Wat? Anyone of you have heard of Angkor Wat? In Cambodia? Okay. Now if you do a comparison, well, Hampi is as good as Angkor Wat. Cambodia is a very, very poor country as compared to India. And the number of tourists which go to Cambodia to Angkor Wat is 10 times more than whoever come to maybe India also. So there is a large number of tourists because they have just made a quite nice airport in a city called Siem Reap. And so you can take a flight from Bangkok right to Siem Reap, very nice cute airport and seamless travel to your hotel, and then you spend 2-3 days and you come back. When you reach Hampi, it takes 7 to 8 hours by road, a back-breaking journey. There's a train called Hampi Express which goes from Bangalore. It's got one air-conditioned bogie with 12 seats, 12 berths. It's got. It's got no airport. There was one airport, but then probably didn't have enough traffic, so Indian Airlines stopped operating the flights there. So here we have a very good place, and what the government of Karnataka does is it spends crores of rupees on advertising. Every single magazine will have a 2-page thing on Hampi, but they won't do anything to fix up your connectivity. So this is the problem that tourism industry faces in our country. So I'm not very hopeful of tourism because other countries are way ahead. In your own country, I think it would be cheaper for you to go to holiday to Bangkok for 3 days and come back, or to Singapore or Malaysia or anywhere else, Dubai also for that matter, than to do a tour to maybe Goa and come back. So, so tourism will close in spite of the government, not because of the government.
Sir, I'm a second year student, sir. So just in addition to her question, like you told that already there are a lot of hotels coming up. So why not a few hoteliers get into tourist destination development, sir? Like we can take example of Dubai, sir. Over there it's just desert, but they've developed the city in a way that tourists will go there. And so something like that on those lines, why not a few hoteliers get out of the pricing war in the hotel industry and get into the tourism destination development, sir?
See, as I mentioned to you, there are too many regulations in our country, and connectivity is a problem which I don't think hoteliers can solve it. We can't be building roads. I mean, that's neither we have the capacity nor the capability nor the inclination to build a road to some destination like Hampi. I have a hotel in Hampi, and fortunately that hotel, I did not invest money in it. The investment was done by the tourism minister of the state, and he himself didn't do anything to improve the connectivity. So, you know, I think the basic concept is not there. Most of our politicians, the concept is not there. The other day I heard, you know, there's a place called Bakel. Have you guys ever heard of a place called Bakel? Okay, now Kerala government, which is very, you know, active in development of tourism. So the same guy, Amitabh Kant, the Secretary of Tourism, he said, everybody concentrating on south of Kerala, let's promote a tourism district north of Kerala. So at the tip of Kerala, where Karnataka border is there, because he says there's a connectivity because, you know, there's a Mangalore airport. So we'll promote, the beach is very nice, so we'll promote and we'll give land at a very subsidized rate to all hotels. So they gave land to about 6-7 hotels. They have offered to us also, but we said we don't want to take it. And 2 hotels have come up there. One is the Lalit Group Hotel, one is the Taj Hotel has already come up there. And now it takes about, from Mangalore airport, about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, and the road is totally washed out. So you can't do it. Now can the hotels develop the road? It's not possible. So those hotels, they have virtually, you know, they've got no occupancies. I said nobody knows what Bakel is. I've asked the class, nobody knows what Bakel is. So they have not done destination promoting that yes, vehicle has come up. And you see, in case of Bangkok or something, they had Pattaya, they promoted Phuket, they promoted Makrabi, they are promoting now other destinations. But then they go all out to the hotels are promoted, the destination, the connectivity is done, and they go all out to do that. But here, you know, there's a problem of government, there's a problem of NGOs, there's a problem of PILs. For example, Goa. Goa is the worst airport any destination has, and it's still very bad. Now, I think they are expanding the terminal now. After so many years, I remember when I was at IIM in 1971, I went for my summer job to Goa. And the airport is just like that what it was those days. You know? So it's not improved at all. So now they are building it. And what is the difficulty in, you know, you have got big high funda, you know, Ministry of Ministers of Civil Aviation to build one building. And that's what you require is like a big shed. You require a little larger space with some, you know, logistics so that, you know, streamlining the people coming in and going out. And now they are making it. After, well, how many years you can say, 40 years, I'm seeing one terminal come up. They're talking of Mopa airport, there's another alternate airport, because this airport is a naval airport. So it has restrictions. You can't fly at this time, you can't fly at this time. So naturally anybody who's coming from abroad, he is restricted to the number of times. You know, flights in Goa take off and land only in the afternoons. So that time there's chaos and the rest of the time you can't. So Mopa airport, there again into the lobby, you know, so it is coming, not coming, not coming. Just like Bangalore airport. Now last time when I was in Goa, the CM announced that yes, it is going to happen. Well, maybe in another 3 years time it will happen. So that is the problem today. Now all hotels are in the south, Mopa airport is going to come up in the north. So what is going to happen to hotels in the south? They will come. So there is very little of, you know, coordination. So some political reason they want to put up a thing in the north. So and very little concept also, you know, of what to do, what not to do. You know, I met the tourism minister there in Goa. Sorry to say, the guy was not even educated. I mean, he didn't know. He had not a clue. He'll become a MLA for the first time, become a minister for the first time, and just good luck that he'll become a minister. He had no clue of what to do or what to say. You know, there's a forum when we're talking to, I mean, Goa Investment Forum, we were all called there to invite to speak on that forum, right? And he didn't have a word to say, you know. So now this is the caliber of people who are going to govern our country. So I think all of you got to learn to fend for yourself.
Thank you, sir.
So I think that will be the total number of questions and answers for the evening. So I think that will be...
Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure being here with you, and someday I hope I am able to visit Shillong. I was very scared of visiting Shillong because of Ulfa and all those problems. So I've never visited Shillong. I don't know how safe it is, but
So you come
that's how it is detached. You see, there's no communication. You know, we always think that, oh my God, there's going to be a bomb dropping anytime. Just forget it, you know.
Sir, it seems like they call India as the land
And I
of
wish you all the best, all of you. It was a real pleasure being with you.
So thank you very much for taking your time off your busy schedule and interacting with us. We really hope you enjoyed the interaction as well from your side.
Of course, always, always.
Yes,
Thank you.
And if you want to... So thank you very much, sir.